everyone! So today we're going to be doing some Halloween mantle decorating. My favorite place to decorate for Halloween. I look forward to this every single year. And one of y'all spooky family out there had an idea, and I loved it, to do a mystery Halloween mantle where I don't tell you what the theme is yet. I just go through the whole process and you can guess along the way, and then you just see the full end result. So that's what we're doing today. I'm so excited for you to see it. So we're going to be decorating my living room mantle, my whole fireplace area, and my living room. And then we'll have more Halloween decorating videos to come. Before we get into this though, I want to mention the sponsor for today's video. I'm so excited because today's video is sponsored by Shudder. And if you've been around here for a while, then you know I could jab my jaws forever about Shudder because I'm all about all the spooky content all the time, but especially this time of year. So Shudder, if you haven't heard of Shudder before, is a horror and thriller streaming service. So basically Shudder serves all of your spooky needs this time of year with movies and series, documentaries. Shudder has so much spooky content on their platform, and they update it all the time with anything from classics to new Shudder exclusives. So horror content you can only find on Shudder. And then right now they even have a whole Halloween collection where they have different Halloween themed picks. Some of my favorite on that list: love Night of the Demons. If you haven't watched Night of the Demons yet, and you like a good 80s horror flick, you gotta watch Night of the Demons. It is essential. Also really loved Haunt. Haunt is about a group of friends who go into a haunted house, like a haunted house as in people jump out at you, haunted house. And all sorts of things start happening. They also have a documentary called Haunters, which is really good, but it's about those extreme haunted houses, kind of the pressure to make it more extreme every single year. Also, of course, classic Halloween, Michael Myers, you can't go wrong. They have a couple of Halloween movies on there. They have Elvira, Mistress of the Dark from the 80s, and a new Elvira special right now on Shudder, which is like a 40th anniversary, very scary, very special. I cannot talk about Shudder without talking about the Ghoul Log, which is kind of like a Yule log during the holidays, but it's a Ghoul Log. So it has a jack-o'-lantern with a little flame inside. They have a brand new Ghoul Log this year, Night of the Ghoul Log, which you know I'm all excited about. A whole new Ghoul Log. This one's super cute. So they've got a whole Halloween party going on right now on Shudder. So Shudder is $5.99 a month or $56.99 a year. But you can try Shudder free for 30 days. So you could get the rest of October completely free if you go to shudder.com and enter promo code JADE. That's JADE. And you do need to go to the website. So you do need to go to shudder.com and sign up on the website. And then from there, once you sign up, you can stream unlimited spooky content on Shudder from your iOS or Android devices, Xbox One, Amazon Fire TV, Google Chromecast, Roku. So to get started streaming the best horror, thriller, and supernatural content with Shudder's expertly curated collection, including must-see titles like Vicious Fun, The Mortuary Collection, and PG Psycho Gorman, which was one of our favorites here. Plus all the best horror documentaries and the hit Creepshow TV series from executive producer Greg Nicotero from The Walking Dead. You can try Shudder free for 30 days if you go to shudder.com and enter promo code JADE. That's JADE. We love Shudder in this house. We can't stop watching it. Kind of becomes a little bit of a competition on how many scary movies you can watch. I don't know if anyone else out there is like that. If you're like, I need to watch all of them. But yeah, definitely check out Shudder if you haven't checked out or haven't heard of Shudder before. All right, so let's get into decorating our mystery mantle and living room theme. Anyways, before I babble on any longer, let's start decorating. All right, so before I start decorating my mantle, you know I gotta do the usual. It wouldn't be a decorating video if I didn't bust out my handy dandy Dyson and get up some of those glittery, velvety, whatever little things, little sticks and whatever else that I had from the decor previously, get it all sucked up. And then I go in with my Mrs. Myers Clean Day. It's the apple cider scent because I want this area to smell like fall, threw up all over it before I start decorating. That's what we're going for. All right, so now we're finally gonna start decorating. So I'm working on the background / centerpiece area here, and I really had no idea what direction I wanted to go in. I had a sign that I wanted to use in this space, but in comparison to the mantle kind of swallowed it whole. So I was playing around with a couple different things with these window pane things and kind of wanted it to look like a gothic, maybe a witchy vibe. And then I put the sign. This is the sign I was wanting to use. And I was playing around with whether or not I wanted it centered on the panes or if I just wanted it kind of leaning or just resting on the mantle. So I started with it resting on the mantle and figured I could always raise it up if I needed to and just hook it to the panes or hook it onto the mantle with like a command hook or something. So I left it like this for now and just decided to build the rest of the mantle around this centerpiece area. So I'm starting with all the larger things or the things that are going to be towards the back or framing this area, and then slowly add the smaller items as I go. So I'm just moving these branchy trees around. These are from Target a couple of years ago, which the Witch's Lair sign, by the way, is from Michael's, and the window panes are from Amazon. Also put these spider pedestals up. These are from Home Goods last year, a couple of years ago maybe. And then these lanterns, I thought these looked kind of old and just kind of would pull in the whole theme we're going for here, which I'm sure you've guessed it by now, but just in case you haven't, we'll keep going a little while before I reveal it. But adding some lanterns, some little animals, like I have a cat and an owl. Those are from Target this year, by the way. And the lanterns are from Amazon. I'll link them in the description if I can find them. But I was really struggling here, I'm not going to lie, because I was trying to find ways to mix in some of the beige elements from the sign and the panels and the decor. And I don't have a lot of brown and beige decor. I have a lot of black decor. So the beigey elements were really standing out. I was really struggling with this. Tried a bunch of different things. You'll see here, I'm adding in some different signs that have white and beige and like trying to break it up, trying to pull things in. And it just, I feel like the sign and the panels or the window panes or whatever those things are, were just, I don't know, they were just standing out. So here I'm just trying to find elements that fill the space, but also pull everything together and make everything look like they belong on one mantle. I don't want anything to stick out too much. And I'm wanting my mantle to look kind of cluttered. Lots of lanterns and potion bottles and glass jars and stuff like that. Candelabras, that kind of stuff. So here I'm just continuing to add elements, and this part always freaks people out because I almost knock stuff off this mantle 3,000 times in the process. It happens every time. And I don't know that I'm actually doing it. I'm thoroughly enjoying myself at this point, even though you guys are on the other side of this, like, oh God, you almost knocked that off, which I literally almost did there and didn't even realize it. This is a whole therapeutic process for me, except for when the headless horseman falls off of here. Then my soul completely leaves my body. So here I'm just putting in some branchy trees because I'm not gonna lie, this whole time right here, I had no idea how I was going to make this work. I didn't feel like anything was coming together. Everything looked very random, or not random, just placed too precisely on this mantle, and nothing was coming together. There was too much black versus beige, and nothing was balanced. And when a Libra is out of balance, it's a problem. So anytime I'm feeling like stuff just isn't looking right, I always add branchy trees because they always just somehow add a spooky element. They bring stuff together, they add texture, and they just look spooky. So I find all my spooky branchy trees typically from Target every year. So I always say, when in doubt, add a spooky tree and see if it helps out, or multiple spooky trees. I get all my spooky trees every year from Target, and I love that they're all kind of different. Every year they have a different style, a different kind of branch. They kind of lean different ways, or some are thinner. So when they all come together, you get different textures and a whole different look. It just looks like a whole spooky situation. Also added this little the flower lamp from At Home. Yes, the gray pot is bothering me, but you'll see what I do here in a bit. Anyways, this is kind of where we're at this point. So then I added, on those pedestals, those spider pedestals, I didn't really want to add a candle because I didn't think it would work out, but I wanted more branches. So I took these branchy trees. I got these from Target this year. And on the pedestal, there's like an area for a candle to stick in the candle. It's like a little thing that sticks up. that goes through the candle to hold it there. So it kind of toppled over, like the tree toppled over even more. So I used some museum putty so it wouldn't completely fall off, and stuck the museum putty on the bottom of the tree and then stuck it onto that little pointy thing that goes through the candle, and it holds that in place. You'll see there, I just moved that pedestal. It doesn't budge. It's so awesome. That museum putty works wonders. So if you're worried about things falling off your mantle, or if you have a cat or cats, definitely try that museum putty stuff. I'll link it in the description which one I got. Also put this mirror. This is my favorite mirror this year from At Home, and some more little trinkets, little bottles, which a lot of times you can find at thrift stores, or they even have some really cool ones around Halloween season that say potion, all that kind of stuff on it, from Michael's and Target, and pretty much all the stores have little potion bottles at this point. Also, these hands I got from Lakeside Collection. They're supposed to stick out of your wall, like mount onto the wall, but I really wanted to put it on the mantle, so I used some of that museum putty, put it on the bottom, and stuck it to my mantle. And I was so excited about this. I was not planning on using these, but I needed some more things to put on my mantle. And the hand was, this witchy hand was perfect. Which, by the way, if you haven't figured out the theme yet, it is a witchy, apothecary, kind of folky witch kind of vibe is what I was going for. Or almost if you stepped right into a witch's cottage, and the mantle has all these little trinkets, these little witchy things that, you know, or have just been collecting dust over the years, or have moss and all this stuff growing on it, like they've been abandoned for who knows how long kind of thing. That's what I was going for. So this is kind of where I was at, which I wasn't sold. I was kind of panicking because I liked it. But in my mind, I was like, I just did this entire mantle and I'm not sold on the theme. Like, I wasn't sold yet. So I busted out the creepy cloth, and the creepy cloths are kind of like the branchy trees for me. If when in doubt, I go in with the branchy trees, but also the creepy cloths, because they can make anything look spooky. So I'm just putting up the creepy cloth here and just pinning it down underneath all of the heavier items, trying to get a good drapey look going on here, and hoping it transforms the theme and makes it look a little bit more folky. I know it's a little bit difficult because my mantle is so modern, but I was hoping I could get it together and add some things to make it work. So here I'm just playing around with some things. But long story longer, definitely stay the course, because there have been so many times I haven't been feeling a theme or what's going on. I just keep going, keep pushing through, mainly because I don't want to take the whole thing down again. And so I just keep pushing through. You'll see. We'll just keep going with it. I just keep going because I wasn't even fully sold at this point. It looked better. I was like, oh, this is starting to come together. I had some hope, but it's still like the black. I don't know if anyone else is seeing this. I feel like the black was really just like, I wasn't pulling in any of that beigey, like on the frames or the window pane things, and then on the sign, they were just really sticking out. I don't feel like they were blending in well, or the whole thing was cohesive. It was not happening. So I got out these jars, and I had bought this Spanish moss to go into these jars, and also some fake bugs. I thought the Spanish moss, because it's got that beigey tannish look or whatever to it. I'm clearly not very well versed in browns, but my whole life is black. Anyways, I thought this Spanish moss, this beigey situation would pull in or pull together some of that centerpiece thing we had going on. The witch's lair sign and the window panes. So I put in some of the Spanish moss, some spiders and bats, and some, so it would be a little bit of beige, a little bit of black in there, and just thought I'd mix it up. Maneuvered it around until I got what I was looking for, and then put it on the mantle. And then you'll see it there. It's in the back. I didn't actually get a shot of me putting it on, but you'll see it in the back there. It really does help pull together the frame of that window pane. So just making some finishing touches here. After I got the creepy cloth on, I had a little bit more of an idea of kind of what direction I was going in at least. So on these little planters, so the gray planters that were bothering me on these the flower lamp thing, I put some creepy cloths from the Dollar Tree, wrapped it around the base of that, because I haven't decided if I want to paint that or not yet, or how I want to paint it, or how I want to do it. So I just used a creepy cloth. So some of that gray did come through to make it look a little bit like it broke it up a little bit. Also added, of course, more branchy trees, some candles. Also on Vlogoween, we'll be doing a whole mantle lighting, so you can see what candles I use, and we can light it together and celebrate the season. So you'll see that coming up on Vlogoween. I know I'm behind on all the editing, but we're making it happen. Also in this little area, I couldn't really figure out what I wanted there. Nothing was really working. So I found this little prayer card. I got these from a oh, what was it? An antique shop. So I put some prayer cards and some little antique pictures. And if you think it's really weird that I have random pictures of people, like old pictures of people, then great. I'm so excited you think that's weird, because that's exactly the vibe I'm going for, but also I'm a weirdo. So what else do you expect? Also making just, these little finishing touches, these little details, like a little rosary situation around the witchy hand, and just little things like that. Then I was like, okay, I had these thumbtacks I'd put up like in the corner between my mantle and my ceiling to kind of drape some creepy cloths from, and I never really got around to it, or it just ended up looking like too much last year, I think. But this year, we're going for a whole different theme. We're going for that witchy, drapey cottage theme. So we cannot have enough spooky stuff. This is a witchy cottage. We're making it happen, people. So I'm draping these creepy cloths. I actually used 2 separate creepy cloths from Dollar Tree across the top. So here's where it was getting good. We got the creepy cloths down. Things are looking spooky, but we still needed to pull in some of that beigey stuff. So I had some of that Spanish moss that I'd used for those jars. And I was like, oh my gosh, we're going to put this on the mantle. That's what we're going to do. We're going to drape this over the creepy cloths. I didn't know if it was going to end up working out or not. Like if it would look too, there wasn't like if it was going to have too much contrast, but the way that it kind of drapes over. So I had some areas that were thicker and some that were kind of dangling down and were thinner. So it could kind of taper into the cloth. And then of course the cloth has some areas that are layered up and darker, and then areas that are more sheer. So it kind of broke it all up to where it didn't look so harsh and like so much contrast. So it really helped bring out that folky vibe we're going for. I don't know. Do people call this cottagecore? Is that what that is? Cottagecore. I always hear that word, but it's totally not even in my realm of decorating, that I didn't really pay attention to it. But I feel like this is my version of cottagecore. I don't know what it normally is supposed to look like, but this is it for me. This was the best part. This was so much fun. Just putting up the Spanish moss, also put it at the top, just little pieces, and I kind of just throw it at, like just stick it to the creepy cloth so it wouldn't look too positioned, because I kind of wanted it to look dangly in some places and sparse in other places. So you'll see me just throwing it at things so it would naturally land. Then I thought to put some little spiders and little bugs in the creepy cloth just to, add the extra little layer of spooky. This is Halloween. Let's do it. Oh, and then I dropped a scorpion on the loose. So here I'm working around the mantle. No. The fireplace area, either side of the fireplace basically. And here I had no idea what I was doing yet. Just started pulling all the witchy things and some candles and some signs and branchy trees and just going with the usual stuff. Then I decided the cauldron that I got from at home this year, the cauldron bowl, stuffed it with some mossy looking stuff. Then this is like a little bit more of a sage green color. Then I put the cauldron on one of those spooky book container things, the books with the containers inside, to give it some height. Put in a little witchy broom, a witchy statue, which is there it is. The witch statue I got from Home Goods a couple years ago, a lantern, candles, all that kind of stuff. And I was trying to make this apothecary sign work. I didn't know where I wanted it. It was kind of shorter and it was getting lost, and I really kind of wanted to see it. So I had this idea, which by the way, the sign is from Kirkland's this year. Had this idea to put the sign not in the cauldron, but rest it on top of the cauldron. And since the sign is kind of rounded at the bottom, it worked out perfectly. And I kind of used the mossy stuff to kind of frame around it and also help pin it in so it's not going to go anywhere. Then from there, I kind of just tried to frame around this. So I added some candles, lanterns, try to work it around the whole main event. That is the apothecary sign and the cauldron. Then I also put a little crow in the moss, so it kind of broke the moss up a little bit. And also this little antler candlestick holder that I got from Joann's last year during actually the holiday, like Christmas season. Then put in, but I thought it went with kind of like a folky witch vibe. Also put a skull, that kind of stuff. Oh, and don't worry, at the very end, I'll be showing all of this put together during the day and at nighttime so you can see how all of it turned out. So stay tuned for that. If you're like, wait, I didn't get to see the whole thing together, it'll all be at the end. So here on the other side of the fireplace, I put my black sheep from Grandin Road, my witchy hat book stack situation, which I actually got from someone from the Spooky family, sent me that. Also some lanterns, spooky trees. Almost all of my spooky trees are from Target. If you see a spooky tree, it's most likely from Target. Also a mossy garland situation, candles, a lot of that candles, garland, Spanish moss I got from Amazon. So I will link all of that if I can in the description box, since a lot of that stuff's still available. Also put in a little Hocus Pocus tombstone that I got from Spirit Halloween. All right, so over on this little shelf area, I wanted to do, like, this is where the apothecary stuff was going to be. So lots of potion bottles, glass bottles, jars, cloches, and really any witchy things I still had left. I had used quite a bit on the mantle, but I still had a lot of glass, like jars, bottles, potion bottle looking things, and some figurine kind of things. So here I really had no idea what direction I was going in. I just start playing around with things until things start kind of coming together. And I love playing around with different heights, different textures, different colors. So like if there's something tall on one side, I'll try to balance it on the other side. It doesn't have to be the exact same thing. So it doesn't have to be completely symmetrical, but I try to mix different heights. And like if there's gold on one side, I'll try to bring some warmth on the other side, like maybe with that little amber vase thing. And then I ended up putting that apothecary sign there and my witch flying on a broom pedestal we got from Tuesday morning. Then I'm filling up our little jars with some more Spanish moss. And this one I just did with Spanish moss. I don't even think I put anything spooky in there. And the other one I put a rose on top. And I'm not doing any sort of color scheme here as much as I'm just doing, this is a witchy shelf with all sorts of knickknacks on it. But mainly potion bottles, perfume bottles, little canisters, crystals, all that kind of stuff. Did I say candles already? Because candles are included. Anything like that. So I like the mix of candles and glass and jars and different colors of bottles and all the things. And all of these I've collected over the years. Some of them have been sent to me by you spooky family out there. And then also pulled some perfume bottles I had and just adding all of the different bottles and little things I could find around the house. Even if it wasn't Halloween related, you can make it spooky. Moving on to the next shelf. So on this shelf, I put more witchy things. I put a little pumpkin container I got from Joann's this year. The hourglass is from Target several years ago when they had that gothic line that I never shut up about. Also, a headless horseman snow globe, it's from Home Goods. The crow pedestal is from Michael's, and the decanter is from Joann's last year. And then the little potion bottle that was sent to me by a spooky family member, I ended up taking the ribbon off of that for now. I'll put it back on, but it just was sticking out like a sore thumb, so I like it better with all black. Also, a little lantern and a little cauldron. The cauldron is from Michael's this year. The lantern is from Walmart last year. That little lantern. Anyways, moving on to the bottom shelf, I moved the decanter down here, the crystal skull, a couple of pedestals, and another one of those antler candlestick holder things. And then here on this little side table next to the couches, I have my little aloe plant and my little watering can thing that's Ray Dunn this year. Got that at Home Goods. And then the candlestick holder, or candelabra, sorry. And then on the chairs, this footage was just a whole mess. I don't know what happened here, but I was trying out some different pillows. The Spooky House pillow from Home Goods, which is a classic. Also tried out some skull pillows, and I ended up going with the vulture pillow and another pillow on the other chair you'll see here coming up a little bit later. Then on the coffee table, I ended up spreading out some Spanish moss on the bottom little shelf area, and put one of those box book things with the open box in the middle. Put my little remotes for my candles, my LED candles, put those in there, or little LED lights for my mantle. Then I put these little witchy hands. I had a couple of them left over. These are the wall mounting witchy hands that we used on the mantle as well. Put these around the book, so it was like grabbing the book. Oh my gosh, I loved how that turned out. I was not planning on that at all, but I'm so excited about that little detail. So here I'm decorating the coffee table, just playing around with whatever I had left, some lanterns, some jars. So I had a cloche left and some potion bottles. So just, slowly but surely moving things around, decorating until I kind of got what I was looking for. So I try a bunch of different things, and you can see some of the things don't work out and some of them do. I really don't try to, I'll put things together that don't even go together just to kind of see. You never know when something will jump out at you. speaking of jumping out, I ended up putting snakes down in that moss on the bottom little shelf area, and I feel like it added a little extra spooky element. Just making some finishing touches. Put a little frame, like a little spooky frame. I believe this is from Party City 500 years ago. Not that long, probably like 10 years ago. Put some Spanish moss in a little jar. And I had to put a little spooky something in there. Just put a little bat in there. Once again, just some finishing touches to pull it all together. And from there, we are finished. Our Witch's Lair theme is complete. I am so excited about how this turned out. This like cottage core meets dark aesthetic combination. I don't know if I ever want to take this down. And it's so wild because I was so worried about this theme. I was not sold on it up until basically the very end. And I'm so excited. We stuck with it, kept going, kept decorating because I am so excited about the end result. I'm going to continue showing you all these clips during the day, and then you'll see at the very end all of the nighttime clips, what it looks like all lit up. You gotta see it lit up. Anyways, thank you so much for decorating with me. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, you can give it a thumbs up, say hey ghoul hey down in the comments because I love talking to you. Also, let me know what you think of this year's theme, and let me know if you had any themes this year, how you were decorating, whether that's color schemes or if you had like a witchy theme or a pumpkin theme or just traditional Halloween, vintage, however you decorated. Let me know in the comments. So I'm just going to keep showing the clips, and then you'll see the nighttime clips here coming up. And that is it. I'm going to let you guys go here so you can enjoy the nighttime clips with some spooky music. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.